What's up everybody, this is SuperStar O, and just to start off this video, you can already tell, for one, I'm not in the studio, I'm in my kitchen. For two, I might sound a little weird because I've been really sick lately. I'm feeling a lot better today, thankfully, but I still can't hear very well in this ear. I have a really bad ear infection, so I might be loud, I might be low. Sorry about that. Also, there's a gerbil over there, and he makes a whole lot of, he, she, whatever it is, it makes a whole lot of noise. So just try to ignore that. Alright, so basically this video, for about a month now, I've been posting people to ask me some questions, and then I would do a YouTube video basically answering the questions, because a lot of the time people ask me random questions randomly on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, Xbox, whatever I'm on, and it seems like a lot of people have a lot of questions. So I figured I'd just do a video answering the most popular questions. So a lot of people hit me up with questions. I chose the ones that I got hit with the most, and also ones that seemed more interesting for me to answer. So right here on the laptop I saved screenshots of all of them, and we're just going to go ahead and get right into it, and I'm going to answer the questions. Sorry for the lighting and whatever, the video's not super professional. As I said, I'm not 100% back from feeling sick, so I didn't feel like setting up all the studio lighting and doing all that stuff for this video. But I do have some free time, and it's quiet in the house, beside that little fucking thing over there. I'm thinking about moving him. Shut up! Hold on. Dude! Stop running everywhere. Go somewhere. Quick. Alright, if the thing keeps running, then whatever. Anyway, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Well, the first question I already know off the top of my head because I've seen it on my phone and it's not on here. Somebody asked me if, since I've gotten all these tattoos, does that affect my business any now? And it doesn't at all. I mean, not at all. For one, I don't really have to meet many people in person since I do most of the stuff out of my house, but if I am traveling or I do have to meet somebody in person, nowadays tattoos are like not looked at really as a, you know, ghetto thing where people will ignore you, especially if you have a look. Like if you're looking super hood, super ghetto, and you got tats everywhere, then yeah, people are still gonna be like, nah, bro, unless you're going to meet like Jeezy or somebody who's also hood. But if you're dressed up nice, you have a nice appearance, and you just happen to have tats, then they can see like, okay, this, like there's people that wear suits, you know what I mean, and they model and everything, and they have tats on their hands and stuff, but they still look like, you know, upkept person. So it won't really affect you, especially in the music industry. But even if I would think, hopefully I never have to, if I ever had to go get a normal job, I'm pretty sure I'd be able to get, you know, a job with it because of my appearance as well. If I just dress nice, as long as I don't go there with a 5X t-shirt on and my pants all the way low, I should be alright. So to get into the other questions, somebody said, what marketing tips do you have for beginners on SoundKits? And that came from Joe I Music. Hold on, I'm about to put this thing in the bathroom. This is ridiculous. Stupid ass. Alright, so yeah, I did just walk away. I might edit that out, if not, whatever. Marketing tips for SoundClips producers. Well, for one, you have to be different. Something about you has to be different. You have to have your own sound, or at least somewhat of your own sound. The person that you are and how you act, how you promote, I mean everything. The way your page looks, it has to look professional. You have to have a good page. You will scare customers away if you don't have a very professional, clean, and easy layout, not like all this shit going on and it's like, dude, I don't know what to click, like there's so much stuff. So that would be, you know, a good one. Spin City Beats said, how can you better your online business or beat store? Same thing, get a professional design, Make it easy to navigate, not too complicated with flash going everywhere and all this sparkly stuff. You know what I mean? Promote yourself, do, you know, sales, special sales, do a photo shoot if you want to show yourself. If not, have professional pictures of equipment or something like that, and just make it easy for people to order. Danny G said, how do you stay so motivated? Well, for me, I just love music. I love making it. It's one of the things that make me really happy in life. I mean, I'm happy in life, but you know, some people, it makes them really happy to go rock climbing or whatever. But when I'm making music, I'm one of the happiest that I can be. So that's just, I just love doing it. So that's really the thing that makes me stay motivated to do it. Ben Martin said, how many styles of music would you recommend for a starting producer? I can do trap and dirty south and kind of do club bangers. If you're starting off, I would say you don't really need to worry too much about different styles. I mean, just stick to kind of what you're good at, but as you progress and you get really good at that style, branch out and try to do other things, because you don't want to trap yourself into only being able to have one kind of beat. Because then if you ever do get on, it's going to be one of them things where you're hot for a year and a half or two, and then everybody's like, where'd dude go? So yeah. Another one is, how were you able to get where you are now as a music producer? There's so much that goes into that, I have no idea how to answer it. I mean, just grinding really hard, as you all see, working a lot, you know what I mean, making crazy beats, coming up with new companies, promoting myself. I got in at the right time as well when MySpace was still hot. I was selling beats on MySpace. I didn't even know about SoundClick yet. Then I got into the SoundClick game early, before the whole world was onto it, before everybody was trying to make beats. And I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff really. But basically it all boils down to grinding, having that determination inside of you, and you know, just putting your all into what you want and making it happen. Jason Fletcher said, have you ever thought about creating your own indie label and signing artists? I do want to do that one day. That day is nowhere near, because a lot of things would have to happen first. Once I jump into the industry and I start taking stuff over in all different types of genres, I'll then make a label and I'll want to sign artists for sure. That is one thing I do want to do. Xavier Gonzalez said, when did you notice you were so talented at making beats, and what motivates you to get the work done? I noticed I had some type of talent really by my first few beats, because I didn't personally know, I was just messing around, but other people that made beats were like, yo, that is way better than anybody's first beats, dude. And some local rappers actually would they bought my first beats like for like $150 for the first 5, and then I continuously sold almost every beat I made to some local rapper. So I was like, that's not normal. I wouldn't think, that's got to be something there. And then everybody would just say, just keep doing it, bro. Just keep on making shit. Like, don't listen to nobody else, bro. Just keep on going. So I just kept going. And then I already answered kind of what keeps me motivated. Lanad Gashi said, what is your favorite VST plugin? My battery's running low here, so if it dies, I'm going to charge it and come right back and finish the video, so there might be a cut, but I'm going to try to hurry. But my favorite VST would be Silent. As you all know, I make most of my own sounds myself. That's why I have 5 preset banks out for Silent on industrykits.com. So I use that a lot. I'm always making some sounds or tweaking some sounds in there. But as far as besides that, Nexus 2, hands down, best VST ever. As far as if you're just looking to go in there and get something real quick and you're not trying to make your own sound, because you can't make your own sound inside Nexus. But those two would be the top ones, right? And Contact 5, because there's so many banks that you can use with that, or just Contact in general. Mohi, the producer, I don't know what the last thing is. He said, how do you manage your time well? Making beats, sending beats, marketing. For me, when I first started on MySpace, I literally had a plan. One day, I would promote. That's all I would do on MySpace. I would promote, I would say, yo, check out these beats, da-da-da, and it worked because there weren't millions of people saying that, so it wasn't really spam yet. And then the next day, I would do nothing but make beats. But nowadays, since I'm already established, I kind of just go with the flow. My MacBook is always next to me. I'm always checking my emails. If I'm awake, I get back to you quick. So just like that, I got to keep my customers happy. So if I'm home, this is always by me, and I'm usually home. and I'm, you know, doing that. And I just try to market every now and then, whether it be the clothing line or the SoundKits or the beats. But I try to kind of like balance it out. I don't want to spam people on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, so I kind of do it, you know, in a balanced way. And then I just make beats whenever I feel inspired or whenever I'm like, yo, I need to get in the studio. So that's how I do that. Bonafide Baller said, how do you think of names of your beats? Randomly, or do they just come to your head? Yeah. Sometimes I'm just out and I'll hear somebody say like, oh, this is a once in a lifetime thing, or it's now or never, or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, that's sick. And I have a thing called beat names, a note in my phone, and I'll just put it in there. And then when I'm done making the beat, if I don't already have the name of it while I'm making it, then I'll look at my phone and see if I have any saved beat names, and I'll just name it that. But yeah, to me, a really good beat name also means a lot, because the artist can look at it and it might give them a good idea of a song they could do. It can inspire them and then could follow them and lead them to actually purchasing and releasing the beat. Mr. 2L said, why you start using Cubase? The long answer. Well, I can't give you a long answer because I've always used Cubase. When I first started making beats, I used Nuendo. Nuendo is the same thing as Cubase, besides it's not as good, and it's not only for beat production, it's also made for like videos and stuff. But I've always used Cubase. I've never used FL Studio or anything else. Only time I've used FL Studio is when I'm with Vibe, because that's what he uses, and I don't know how to fluently use it. He just taught me a few things like, yo, so I can lay down this melody and then he can do the whatever. And I also have Reason, but I have no idea how to use that shit. I basically just rewire it into Cubase if I just want to use some other sounds, because there are some really good Reason sounds out there. But I only use Cubase, and I've only ever used Cubase. Sway Does Damage said, do you have a certain blueprint when you're making beats? If you're making a club record, you know, what kind of sounds and drums you're going to use, or do you just spontaneously come up with it? Sorry, the camera cut out. But for me, I don't go by any rules. I go right on the spot. I don't go by any like, oh, this has to be a dB high, or this can't go past this volume. This is a club record, so I can only use this, or I have this select drum kit for clubs, because then your beats will start to sound repetitive, and people will notice like, yo, you're using the same drums a lot, stuff like that. So for me, literally, I just go by ear. I just click on some stuff. If it sounds dope, I'll find a way to drop it in there. Or there are some times where I'm like, yo, I got that dope ass snare, I'm gonna drop it in here. Or I like using that little doom doom or whatever in the club beat, so let me see if it fits in here. But most of the time, it's just spontaneous. Okay, we got we got Wally Lopez said, how do you get over a beat block? As in times where you can't, you know, think of stuff and whatever. Honestly, I don't never have beat block, and I mean, for me, the reason is I always have an idea to do. Like in my computer right now, there's a folder with about 10 beats started, or like I started the loop of something while I was working on something else, and I saved it with the BPM and everything, so I can go back to it. Like I always have an idea in my head or a beat on my computer that I want to finish, so I never really get beat block. Dustin Schnabert said, chicken or beef noodles? So for me, I used to eat beef noodles a long time ago. When I was younger, that's what I loved the most. But nowadays, I don't like the taste of beef noodles at all. Matter of fact, chicken noodles are banging. But actually, I don't never eat noodles anymore. I do eat noodles, but not the noodles you're talking about. I'll show you the noodles I'm talking about right now. They're actually like Asian noodles. My girlfriend is Cambodian and black, or like Asian and black. And so she put me onto a lot of Asian stuff, and these are like some Asian noodles that you get at the store. They're pork flavored, but there's no real pork in them. I don't eat pork. But these are banging, like so good. If you can ever find those, pick those up. They are shitting on ramen noodles. Like, I eat those all the time. They're banging. So those would be the ones I would say are the best. Julio Guino said, what would you tell your old self if you could go back? If I could go back, see, I don't think I would tell myself anything, because I wouldn't want to alter the future on accident or fuck up history, you know, and dinosaurs start popping up everywhere and shit like happens in the movies. But if I could just tell myself something really simple, I mean, back when I was homeless and stuff with my mom and we were going through it, if my current self could go back there real quick, I would just give myself motivation, like, you know, just like a quick word, like, yo, this is you in the future. You're gonna be straight, bro. Just keep going. Don't worry about it. And then I would just disappear. But I wouldn't change anything because you don't know what the fuck you might mess up. Joseph Goff said, when and how did you become addicted to music? I've been addicted to music and loving music since I can remember. I grew up, my mom, you know, she was an alcoholic, whatever. She's been sober for a long time now, but she was always listening to rock and roll, like Led Zeppelin and all those type of bands. And I was kind of forced to hear that all the time because she loved to listen to the music when she'd be out of it. But I loved it, you know, it kind of got into my blood. And then as I got older, I started rapping, and then I got into beats and the melodies and all this stuff. It's just everything. Music to me is just so creative. It's like you put it together. It's something you make from zero, from nothing. You open up the DAW and there's a little dig, 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 and then you go from there. You can make anything you want. So to me, I just always love music, especially beats, because you just, like I said, you make it from nothing. There's nothing there when you open up a blank project, and you can make anything you want. But I've always loved music. Okay, Givo V said, why aren't you a part of Gold Mob? Well, that's a tough one, but I mean, it's not really tough. I don't really want to talk about that, but I read it, and I'm not going to cut it out. So, well, anyway, Cardo's my dude. Vibe is my brother. You know, I'm cool with the Young Exclusive, and I have no problem with anybody that's in Everything Is Gold or Gold Mob. I fully support them. I wish them nothing but the best. I hope things jump off. Cardo knows if he ever needs me or wants me to do something, I'm down to work. But there was just certain situations and certain things that would make me not feel comfortable being in there. And I mean, it's not nothing against, you know, the whole group or anything, because like I said, I really fuck with them, and the talent is there. But it's just certain things. So I'd rather not get into that. Riley Solit said, what advice would you give to people writing their own music? How to stay creative? I often feel like I make the same beat over and over. Okay, well, for writing, let's just say you're talking about beats, because you said writing and beats. But to not make the same beat over and over, I've had that problem before around the times when I first started getting big on SoundClick. And Vibe has too. My hair, okay. Vibe has too. My hair looks like I'm going Super Saiyan or something. I guess all these lights are yellow. Vibe has too. We'd always be like, dude, we keep going the same fucking chords and stuff. Like, we need to switch it up. And honestly, it came to when I got to realizing that, and he did. We were like, I'm never using that no more. I'm just gonna start all the way over, new sounds, new drums. I'm not doing those chords. And then you just force yourself to make new stuff. So that's kind of how I got out of that habit, but I think everybody gets there. Calvin Lawson said, what are some things that you do to make your sessions more productive? Well, I'll be making beats, and I'll check emails when I take breaks, or I'll watch an episode of Dragon Ball Z when I was watching all the episodes. Now I'm on Naruto, so I'll watch some of that. Or I stand up and I walk around the room to hear the mix, and I just, you know, I don't know, I just do whatever. I guess it just kind of stays creative on its own. J Perfect Dark said, what are some key ways to a final mixed beat? For me, a final mix on a beat, I just kind of can hear it. Like I said, I don't go by any dBs, or this can't be higher than that, or this can't be lower than that, or you can't put too much distortion on this, or any of that stuff. I don't go by any rules. I just strictly go by ear. If it sounds right to me, then it's right. And then, you know, that's just pretty much how I do it. And it's worked for me. People pay me to mix their beats. I love the beats. People or the mixes. It sounds beautiful in the car, good on the speakers. People tell me all the time my mixes are really good, so it's working. So I just kind of go by ear. I don't know if I just have an ear for it or what. Emma M said, did you formally learn piano or any other instruments growing up? or did you just learn on your own? I've never took any classes to play piano or any other instrument. I've never been taught how to do anything with music. I had to learn everything on my own. So yeah, I taught myself how to play the piano as good as I can now, as you see me doing in the demos and as you can hear in the beats. That's all by hand, and I taught myself how to do it all. I didn't have any teacher, didn't have anybody giving me any tips. Basically, even the first person that I was making beats with told me, like, I'm not teaching you anything at all. If you want to learn, do it yourself. So it was kind of harsh, but I mean, it was whatever. So I just taught myself everything. And sorry to be so nonchalant, but like I said, I'm not feeling 100%. But I did want to get this video done for you all, so I don't mean to be nonchalant or anything like that. Like I said before, the battery died, so I charged it for a little bit. I got just enough juice to finish this off, and then I'll end the video and fully charge the battery. But back to the last question I was talking about. Scene Productions said, what is the best way to get a good sounding sub bass or 808? The best way to do that, I mean, there's really no best way to do that. There's so many ways to do it. Everybody mixes it differently. Everybody does things differently. But the basics would be, for one, to make sure that the sub bass or 808 that you're using is high quality. It's not crappy. For two, make sure that whatever frequencies you're going to be hitting the 808 or sub bass on, make sure it's one that has everything pretty much even. Because there's some sub basses or 808s where it'll sound real good down low, then up high it'll sound not so good, or up high it'll have bass to it, but then down low it's real low volume and you can barely hear it, and that's hard to mix. So make sure it fits, you know, what tones you're going to be going for. Then when you're mixing, make sure your kick is powerful enough to go through the 808, and just, you know, kind of build it around from there. Crisis, working on a beat, which Kid Crisis said, with proof you are the original way before. Hold on, I'm reading it backwards, sorry. He said, what do you do when somebody rips your beat off, clear as day, just slower and pitched lower, with proof that you are the original maker of it, and they are making tons of money off of it being flipped and jacked? Okay, so what I would do, looks like I peed myself, but I just spilled some tea on me. What I would do, if you can prove and open up the project showing you made the beat and it's the exact same thing, and it has the date stamp showing you made it before that song came out, way before, or whatever, I would first try to contact whoever the producer of that is. If you don't get anything back from them, I would contact the artist and let them know, like, yo, your producer jacked my beat, and if I don't get a response from you, because I haven't got a response from the producer, you'll be hearing from my attorneys. All I want to do is let you hear my side. And if you don't hear back from anybody, you're going to have to go ahead and get you a music attorney and just see what it is you'd have to do from there. But it's a really tricky game, the music industry is, man. Agent Journey said, what was the beginning to all this? What was the process from nothing to something? Also, what is your copyright process? One second. That feels good. Okay, so, I mean, that's a hard one to answer. The process from the beginning to this, I mean, was just, you all pretty much seen it if you've been following me since MySpace, or even since the beginning of SoundClick. I just continuously build, continuously try to open up new companies and new opportunities, and just continuously working. As far as the copyright thing, I don't do it myself. I have like a music attorney type thing that does anything musically that I need legally done. But I often don't need to copyright anything, because when you're just uploading beats on the internet, you don't really need to copyright it. Some people say you do, but I don't think you do. I haven't had to yet. But if you're sending it to like a major, you want to make sure you don't steal it. Or even then you kind of don't. Because if you can prove you made it, you can show the date, you can show the project, you can bring the computer to court and show it. You don't have as much to worry about. if you know what you're doing. Dre Original said, what's better for independent artists, mixtapes or albums? Both, I would say, because mixtapes now are pretty much everything when it comes to rappers. Even singers, I mean, it'd be good for you to do mixtapes. Mixtapes are like the new albums. You have to do mixtapes. I would do original beats, don't do beats that, you know, already out, that's kind of old. I mean, if you do one or two, cool, but don't do like a whole mixtape killing other people's beats, it's kind of old. Albums are still needed, but you need to get to that point where you're going to be able to sell them. So I would say mixtape first, and then once you're, you know, you're legit, you got fans that you know are going to buy the album, a lot of them, then go ahead and put the album out. And even when you get to that level, keep putting mixtapes out before you put an album out, just to keep your music hot in between. That's like a trick to the artist thing. You know what I'm saying? Have an album come out, don't slack, make more music, come out with a mixtape, maybe 2 mixtapes within however much time, then come out with another album, and keep doing that. Janius Juke Lane said, I got a question. You can actually answer it now? You heard me? Does it bother you that people that make beats and post them and have shit like SSO type beat in the description? I don't know, it may be flattering to you, but I feel like, damn nigga, find your own style. It's like people that rap don't say this is a Future or Beyonce type song, feel me? Okay, so my take on that is it depends on the way they're doing it. They do it on YouTube just to get views off people who are searching SuperStar or Vibe Beats or Johnny Giuliano or whoever they're, Lex Luger, whatever producer they're searching for. So it is kind of a scam that they do that. So when they're doing that and they're just doing it for plays, just trying to get people to see it, I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. So it doesn't make me too angry, but it is like, you know, whatever, dude. But if they're just doing it like, yo, it's just for fun, I'm not trying to get, you know, I'm not using your name as a tag or anything like that. I'm just trying to, you know, show I'm inspired by you and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with it. B-Day, February 17th, Dcash201 said, what do you think about FL Studio? Okay, so what I think about FL Studio, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I mean, for me, whatever DAW that you use, whether it be Cubase, Reason, Logic, FL Studio, GarageBand, Pro Tools, whatever else, Machine, whatever you use, that's just what you use. If you're accustomed to it, you've mastered it pretty much, or you feel really comfortable with it, there's no reason to change it. It used to be like, you know, even Vibe back in the day, on the MySpace days, he had like a picture of Reason when he would show his equipment and stuff to make people think he didn't use Fruity Loops, because it was like kind of bad to use Fruity Loops. Like people were like, oh, they use Fruity Loops, like it's just a bunch of loops and shit. It ain't they own beats or whatever. It just had a bad name. And they're like, oh, they mouse click, they don't play it out, blah, blah, blah. But nowadays, all that's changed. I mean, nobody gives a fuck, really, what you use. The rappers only care that you're bringing them tight shit. I mean, nowadays, if you look on Instagram, most of the hot producers are young, from SoundClick and from other places, and like all of them use Fruity Loops, really. They bring their laptops to the studio, they're in there clicking, and they make tight beats, and they sell them. So it doesn't really matter what you use. I don't use Fruity Loops just because it's not what I use. I've tried to use it, Vibe tried to get me to switch to it, but it's not for me. Like Cubase is more hands-on for me. I don't really do much clicking, so I like the different ways they got to where you can play it, play everything out, the drums and all. Which you could do on FL Studio too, and then just the way it looks. Some things are harder to do, way harder to do in FL Studio than it is to do in Cubase. Like simple things like, I forget what all it was, but just say, quote, just say like copy and paste. That's not what it was, but simple things like that, Vibe would be like, dude, all you gotta do is this. Nigga, I gotta do all this shit just to do that. So that was kind of whack. But there are some things that are easier to do in FL Studio that are harder to do in Cubase, but not very many things. So it's just all about what you like, really. But I don't have anything against any of the DAWs. I don't see myself using FL Studio as my main DAW anyway. If they paid me to use it, I'd use it, but I'm not gonna use it like non-stop forever. What do you think is the best way to build your brand as a producer? Okay, so the best way to, I mean, pretty much everything, if you've been watching this whole video, all the stuff I've said, you've probably gotten the answer to this question, but just in case, I mean, it would be, as a producer, like I said, you have to have your own sound. I mean, it doesn't have to be like dramatic, like, oh, you know, like Timberland is like that's the only person, that Timberland is one, there's no other Timberland. You know, it doesn't have to be that dramatic. It can just be like, you know, I make trap beats, but I have my own swag to them, and you can tell they're mine. You as a person means a lot. Like with me, people connect with me a lot, like, you know, for various reasons. That's helpful for me. So you as a person, the way you act, the way you look, I mean, you know, you don't have to, I'm not saying, oh, you have to be cute or ugly, but I mean the way you look as opposed to how you promote yourself. Like, are you the hood type dude, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, late with professional pictures looking cool, or are you like a dressed up type dude? Like, what are you? Because you're not an artist, but you still kind of market yourself kind of like one. It's not as dramatic, but your look and the way you act does matter. Your websites, they have to be professional. They have to be easy to navigate. I can't stress that. They have to be easy. Me, I used to have all type of shit all over my SoundClick pages in MySpace. You go to it and there will be clouds flying around and fairy dust going everywhere. All types of shit that was unnecessary. You don't need any of that. It slows down most people's computers because they don't have fast internet, most people in the world. And it's just stupid. It makes people not even want to go on it. Once I changed that and I went to just no flash, straight, legit, professional looking pictures in colors and everything, simple instructions, click here to buy, these are the options, here's some sales, here's a video, simple little things. If you go to my site, superstar.com, keep it simple like that, and my sales went way up. People were like, yo, thank you so much for doing that. I always wanted to buy beats, but your page was doing way too much and it was confusing me, and my computer almost blew up. So don't do that route. Don't go paying $1,500 for a flash layout. It's not worth it. Everybody, a lot of people want to be producers now and they want to sell beats. A lot of people. So, and most of them are all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram going, check out my stuff, check out my stuff. And I mean, that's cool. But most of the people aren't going to check it out because they see it so much and they're like, this is just spam. Don't go mail blasting everybody and all that shit, because that's annoying. And if they're not your customers, they're just going to ignore it, mark it as spam, and leave it alone. Promote yourself by only post to people that, if you're just up and coming, right? You know, make a page with only people that you communicate with, or that you know they know who you are. It's not like you just added them as a friend or whatever randomly, and now you're going to spam them. Build a relationship with the people, you know what I mean? Like, let them know slowly what you do, and then say, hey, you know, check out this beat, or, you know, something like that every now and then. Don't go crazy ham, baloney, and make people unfriend you, unfollow you, and they're like, fuck this dude. It's good to do mail blasts, but only do it to your customers. Don't go pay somebody for a whole bunch of emails, or go get a whole bunch of emails and spam people, because I get it all day. Go check out my beats, I'm not a rapper, or go do this, go do that. Like, bruh, they just got my email from wherever, and that's annoying, and I delete it. Now, if I had bought something from you already, which that's what I do. The only people that receive emails from me are people who bought beats, if it's a beat with a beat blast, or bought sounds, or clothing. If it's, I do different emails for different things. I do not send anything to anybody that hasn't bought from me previously, because that's annoying. And if they don't want to hear about new stuff, they can just click unsubscribe and leave it at that. So be careful about that, because you can scare people away by doing too much. The way that you utilize social media, which is what we were talking about promoting. You got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundClick. I mean, it's kind of not social media. I mean, that's all I'm really on, is Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I know there's other stuff, but I don't mess with any of that. Those are, well, I don't think I do. These are, oh, and YouTube. Use those to your advantage, man. The internet is making the most millionaires, young, old, even, well, young, than ever. There's so much money to be made on the internet, so use it to your advantage. You know what I mean? You don't have to stay local and just do local stuff. You can live in Alaska in a little icicle shack. If you got some strong internet and some equipment, or even if you're not doing music, bro, you can make money on the internet. You just gotta have the mindset for it, and you have to go get it. But you can do it without ever having to leave your house. So use social media, but like I said, be careful how you use it. Don't go crazy on people that you don't know. Make that connection first, man. Make that connection, because you'll make people be annoyed that could be potential customers, and they'll never mess with you again. Excuse me. I am feeling a lot better. I still have this cough. Went to the doctor. Everything's good, so I'm good. Hopefully tomorrow I'm at near 100%. Right now I'm at like 70. Is there any other advice I could give? Yeah, like I said, for professional website design, you also want to have photos. If you don't want to show yourself, it's not a problem as a producer. If you're on the internet, you don't have to show yourself much, but it is a plus if you do it the right way. So if you're going to do it, have professional pictures, things that are musical and stuff like that that people want to see. Let me see. There's a lot of things that a producer, you know, up and coming, you know, can do. I'm just trying to think of so many. That's pretty much the basics. What you don't want to do, like I said, just focus on what you don't want to do. Don't do the things I said don't do. Don't do those. Don't go crazy ham, spam everybody that doesn't know who you are. That can work. Sometimes you might get 1 or 2 new customers, but out of those thousands of people you emailed, or hundreds of people you posted to on Facebook, you also lost some subscribers, you lost some Facebook friends, you got checked as spam, so your email might become spam. It's not worth it. Like, just build up before you do all that. Make sure you like, okay, this dude bought from me, this person bought from me, this is a friend, I know these people, I've told these people who I am, and I'm slowly building it up. Now boom, here's a video of me making a beat. Can y'all check this out for me? Then wait a week. Boom, here's a beat I uploaded to SoundCloud, SoundClick. Then wait a while. Don't every day be like, here, doop, 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 and just keep posting it, because that's not going to work. So don't do that. Don't go buy 100,000 Twitter followers. Don't do it. It's stupid. People know who you are and who you aren't. I hate when people do that. You look retarded. So people think like, okay, I'm going to go buy 100,000 followers on Instagram or Twitter, or 10,000 followers on Instagram, whatever, and when I say come check out my beats, they're going to come to my page, they're going to think I'm big, they're going to say, hey, who are you? Let me buy some beats. No, it doesn't work like that. People aren't stupid. Like, they come to your page, granted, there's people who don't know who I am. They might come to my page like, yo, this dude got a lot of followers, then they see the verified badge, then they go looking, and they see like all these retweets from these people that I really have real fans and all that. But if they come to your page, they see like, okay, you got all these followers, but you're not verified. You have like no retweeted fans or nothing like that really, and you're just talking to yourself when you're tweeting. You know, like, people pay attention to all that. They're gonna be like, this dude's bogus. So I would say don't do that. Don't fake it till you make it as far as followers. Another reason I would say don't do that is because you'll never know where you really are. You know what I mean? Like, once you start rolling, you'll be like, damn, bruh, I don't know if 50,000 of these are real, 20,000 are real, I don't know what's going on. So like with me, I know every single fan I have is real. Instagram, whatever. I didn't buy any of them. So it's like, cool, I got that. So I don't have to be sitting there thinking like, all right, so I'm really talking to 2,000 people here. You know what I'm saying? It makes more sense to do it that way. It's followers. You can have 50 followers and be one of the most important people in the music industry. I learned that from a friend of mine. Some people used to tweet me and say they wanted to do some work, and I wouldn't tweet them back. Like, they'd say they work with a label, and I wouldn't mess with them because they had like 25 followers. I'm like, this person's nobody. But then a friend of mine was like, yo, this dude is huge. Like, they just don't use Twitter. Like, some people have no followers, but they're super big. So also, don't ignore people with no followers. Do your research. If they say, yo, I work with Def Jam, Google their name, see if that's the real person, see if that's the real Twitter, see if that's the real email address they're giving you, and then go from there. Don't just ignore them, because like I said, you don't need to buy followers. Those people aren't buying followers. They have no followers, but they are super important people in the music industry. So I'm gonna wrap this video up right here. As that it's a long video answering a lot of questions. I hope this helped a lot of you. If you want me to continue doing question videos, just leave it in the comments and let me know, and maybe I'll do one every couple weeks, and maybe I'll do a little bit less questions because it's probably like 20 minutes long. But thank you all for watching. Let me know if you want me to keep doing them. Stay tuned. I have more GoPro videos, contests, and everything coming. I do appreciate each and every one of you. You know I mean that. Follow me on Twitter at SuperStarO or Instagram SuperStarO. And if you have any questions or anything, just tweet me. I am looking at the comments and commenting back on all my YouTube videos now, well, all my newer ones. So if you have anything to say or anything like that, just say it and I'll comment back or I'll like it or whatever. I'm taking YouTube more seriously as far as communicating back and forth. So I'll see y'all next time. Grind or die. I'm out.